Even More Adventures of Jorbo and Mappy, author unknown. Jorbo and Mappy had many exciting adventures ever since the moment they left their mothers behind and left the kitchen. Having narrowly escaped an orc, an old witch, and seeing a dragon-like halfling, they knew there was so much more out there to find. With a little help from the draftling, they intended to do just that, find more adventure. Following the directions given to them by the draftling, they trekked through many hills and valleys, through farms and past homes until they found what the mysterious man had mentioned. Hidden away, they stood before a mighty troll, frozen in time. With large spindly legs and gangly arms outstretched, the troll was made entirely of wood. Having never seen a troll before, the halfling friends didn't know what it would do. They were assured by the draftling that it was perfectly safe, however, so they began to climb up to his head and get a better look. It took a long time, for the troll was as tall as a tree, but they eventually made it to the top. That's when the troll's eyes opened and it began to move. Slowly moving across the land, the troll took very steady and deliberate steps. The two boys, rather than being scared, had a great time seeing the world in motion. That was until they passed an orc who spotted them riding atop the troll's head. The orc called out to its fellows and began grunting at the troll to give them the children. The troll at first didn't seem to pay any attention to the orcs, but when a number of them had gathered around the wooden troll, it stopped in place. One of the orcs stepped forward and started speaking in a strange tongue. Having spoken to the goblin with three tongues, they paid attention to what the orc was saying, but to the boys it only sounded a tree bending with the wind. The wooden troll then began to move its arms and quickly plucked the boys from the top of its head. Lowering it to the ground, the boys came to the conclusion that the draftling had lied to them, for they were now in the clutches of the orcs. With nowhere to escape this time, the boys knew that their adventure was finally over. Paraded through the orc town as prisoners, the two boys knew they were in store for a cruel fate at the hands of these evil villains. Looking around, they realized that the orcs had not just captured the boys, but all of Rivervale. Just when everything looked hopeless, they were given a glimmer of hope. It seemed that the orcs were taking the kids straight to their houses. As the orcs approached the houses, Jorbo and Mappy could see their mothers waiting on the front doorsteps, tapping their feet impatiently, arms crossed. That was when the two boys knew that all hope was indeed lost. They could tell at once that their mother had been taken over by the wicked witch they encountered earlier, for you see, the crone was standing right beside them. The mother started off by asking why they pushed Deputy Dobkin into the pond. Not knowing what they were talking about, the kids remained silent. That's when one of the orcs called out and said they saw Deputy Dobkin drinking Jum Jum by the bridge that day. By saying nothing more than those words, the magic spell wore off of all the orcs and they were turned back into halflings again. The children then began to tell their mothers and everyone else about the great adventure they had that day around Rivervale. When the boys asked what was for dinner, they realized that their mothers were still under the control of the wicked witch. For you see, when they asked about dessert, they were told that there wouldn't be none, since they had already ate some strawberry cake earlier that day. The end.